All right, gonna get in a great workout today. Best workout of the week. You can do this. Let's go. What should I do? Oh, Instagram. I'll find some moves. No. Oh, I need this. Definitely making this on my next cheat day. If I start my cheat day tonight, it's 24 hours and that counts as one day, right? No. Okay, focus. Find a workout. Okay, gotta do something. This rope thing looks kind of fun. I'll try it. This is really boring. Why does this feel so hard? I like squats, but maybe this weight isn't right. Feels kind of like waste. Oh crud. I've gotta go. Someone else put that weight away. And she was never allowed back in the gym again. Stop stringing together random moves. Stop just pulling random workouts that feel hard. If you want results, your training sessions need to be designed with purpose. You need to create routines that are actually focused on your goals. Training hard and training hard in a way that pushes you forward aren't the same thing. One is wasted effort and the other is progression. That's why I wanted to go over a key factor in creating a workout plan that actually works, as well as 3 amazing training techniques to help you build your leanest, strongest body ever. Because there isn't just one way to do things or one best workout. No one best move, no one best training split. We need to stop asking what we should ideally be doing to start. Instead, we need to ask ourselves, what is realistic for me based on where I'm at right now? Because even what used to work may not fit our body or lifestyle now. Ultimately, what dictates what we need as much as our fitness goals is our schedule. To see results, you have to design for the time you have. Many of us have thought, like, how many days a week do I need to train? For how long? We've sought out some ideal, but this stops us from designing for what's actually realistic for our schedules. When we design for the time we have over getting caught up in some ideal of 1 hour a day, 6 days a week, we can create a routine we can actually be consistent with. And consistency is key. Honestly, inconsistency is the biggest results killer. Yet so often, we set ourselves up for inconsistency in our workout routine by focusing on doing more or some ideal over assessing what is truly realistic for our routines. And that inconsistency has such a huge impact because your weekly schedule is built on everything working together. When you design for 6 days a week, you're using training splits, workout designs, and even moves based on having all 6 days a week to train. Miss one of those days, and the whole system isn't going to give you the same benefit. That's why you want to first ask yourself, what schedule is realistic for me? You need to ask yourself this every time you're looking to start a new routine. Once you know your time frame, how many days a week, for how long, you can then select workout layouts, moves, training variables that make the most out of the time frame you have. Because if you have 3 days a week to train, you can use full body splits to hit areas 2 to 3 times a week, whereas you may use more hemisphere splits, alternating upper and lower, to get the same volume and frequency over the week if you have 6 days a week to train. Design so that you don't miss things and the systems can work together. And just because you actually have an hour to train doesn't mean you should just add in more to fill the time. If you have an hour, that can allow for maybe more isolation moves for stubborn areas or extra rest to lift heavier. But an intense speed or power workout should still not be made longer just because you have the time. An intense sprint or HIIT workout should be short. So once you know your schedule, don't forget your goal for your training progression. Sometimes you won't need to use the time just because you have it. That's why with designing for the time we have, it's key we stop seeing our workouts as strength or cardio. We'll often even blend both to see the best results based on our schedule and goals. Because whether we're doing what we traditionally think of as more cardio, those steady state endurance type training activities, biking, running, that type of stuff, or we're doing more heavy 1 rep max lifting that we often consider strength, you're working an energy system, which is technically having an impact on your cardiovascular health and your strength and muscle. And working along this continuum can help you see amazing body recomp while truly designing for the time you have. It can also help you work not only on your aerobic base, but on your speed, power, work capacity, lactic threshold, recovery, and so much more. So we don't want to see our workouts as either or to get better results. We also need to be conscious of this continuum so that we aren't just turning every strength workout into a cardio session, which can be fighting against our muscle gains. When you design your workouts, stay focused on your goals, not just on making a session feel harder. Because while a more metabolic strength session that's more circuit-based or even a time set may be amazing for losing fat while retaining lean muscle during one of your fat loss phases, that same lack of rest or more metabolic element may be hurting your focus on muscle hypertrophy. Instead, you may need to add in a bit more rest or switch it up to a superset or compound set design. The key is understanding that how we vary rest and cycle exercises in a workout, the overall workout design we use, and not only the types of moves we use, can impact the results we get, from strength to cardio benefits. Not to mention, we can use workouts that are a combination of strength and conditioning work to our advantage, especially when we're short on time. Because most of us do need more efficient workouts to fit our busy schedule. And too often, not having enough time is our excuse for not being consistent with our training or seeing the results we want. That's why I wanted to share 3 training techniques that can help you not only get both cardio and strength benefits, but also be super effective in allowing you to see results while designing to fit the schedule that's realistic for you. First, use interval workout designs for your strength workouts. When we think of an interval workout, we think of a cardio session. And yes, this can make your lifting sessions a bit more metabolic. You may find you get more out of breath, but intervals can be a great way to increase your training density, especially when you're short on time, to improve your strength and muscle gains. By using intervals with more strength-based lifting exercises, you can help yourself achieve amazing body recomp, building muscle, improving your work capacity, and even your recovery. You can use interval workouts whether you're doing more of an anterior-posterior split or even full body routines. But set an interval of work, generally a minute for more strength exercises is good, using exercises and loads that challenge you so you're almost working past failure in that time. In back-to-back intervals, even alternate areas worked. So one muscle group can rest as you continue to use the time you have efficiently to work another area. But during each interval of work, because the goal of the session is still building strength and muscle, challenge yourself so you need to pause for a second or two. This pause to complete more reps means you're challenging yourself with loads. Generally, when we would have to pause with traditional reps and sets, we would have stopped and moved on to the next exercise. But because we still have time in that interval to work, we do more. This ultimately helps you lift more quality loads in a shorter amount of time, creating amazing stimulus for muscle growth, even when you need to get in a quicker training session. Interval work done this way also implements the second training technique that can help you be more efficient in your workouts. And this second technique is the rest-pause technique. Rest-pause has many offshoots and usages, but in the most basic form, you'll perform reps until you need to pause, then generally rest for about 15 to 30 seconds before trying to eke out a few more reps with the same loads. In the interval work, you want to rest no more than a few seconds to keep moving. With things like cluster sets, you may use this brief pause, but with smaller sets that don't fully take you to failure, but allow you to lift heavier than you would be able to if you just done the reps straight. But using this brief rest allows you to not only increase your training density, doing more reps in a shorter amount of time, but also often lift more weight in that same time frame, as you can go heavier for the same volume because of the rest. You'll find this improves not only your strength, but also your muscle gains and even your strength endurance. And you may be surprised too by how much you see your recovery times improve in your other conditioning work even. Now, this final technique I want to share goes against what we often think to do when we're short on time and designing efficient workouts. But I want to share it because it highlights how many opportunities and options there are out there to make things match what we need and progress over time. Too often we get stuck feeling there's only one right way, and then miss out on an option that is different, but could be the switch up we need. Usually when we're short on time, we design our workouts to cycle areas worked. This allows one area to rest as another's worked. So in a circuit or a set with back-to-back moves, we may use one upper and one lower body exercise instead of back-to-back moves that work the same muscle group. But you may want to break this rule at times if you're really focused on those muscle gains, especially for stubborn areas. This is where post-exhaust technique can come in handy, especially for more advanced lifters. So technique number 3 is post-exhaust technique. With post-exhaust technique, you're working the same muscle group with back-to-back moves, usually using a compound exercise, even followed by an isolation move, to hone in on the muscle group that was just worked with a compound move. This can help you work past failure in another way and recruit more muscle fibers to improve your strength and muscle gains. But because you're doing a high volume of very focused work for an area in a short amount of time, it can help you see better results even when you're working out in a more limited schedule. You aren't giving an area a chance to fully recover, yet you're working at an intensity with the change up in moves that allows you to keep that quality of work. By pairing these two moves back to back, as you then even cycle between pairings that target different areas, you'll be able to use all three drivers of muscle growth very efficiently. An added bonus is that you can even do post-exhaust technique in an interval design, working the same muscle in back-to-back intervals. And you may be surprised by how much you feel your blood pumping without doing anything you even thought was remotely cardio. So just remember, there are lots of different ways to use different moves, techniques, and workout designs to our advantage based on the time we have. And we don't have to see our workouts as just cardio or strength, but we need to make sure that we design everything with a purpose, focus on meeting ourselves where we're at to move forward towards our goals, and be realistic with what you need. Design for the time you have.